Hello, good morning to all. I'm Dr. B.S. Praveen Kumar. Today we will discuss about session 4 in the module 4 of the elements of mechanical engineering for the second semester. Coming to the various contents of the module 4, we have got power transmission, gear drives, properties and composition of industrial and industrial application of engineering materials, joining process. In the last session, we have covered soldering and brazing, and now we will see about welding. Welding may be defined as a metallurgical joining process of two pieces together to produce essentially a single piece of metal. Welding is extensively used in fabrication work with metal plates, rolled steel sections, casting of ferrous metals are joined together. It is used for repairing broken, worn out and defective metal parts. So the basic difference between the soldering, brazing and welding is here. In the case of welding, we will going to develop a new material which is very similar to that of the base material, and in most of the cases the welding joint is very stronger than the other parts of the metals that are joined together. So hence welding is more preferable than the soldering and brazing. Coming to the principle involved in the welding, a welding is a metallurgical process in which junction of two parts to be joined or heated and then fused together with or without application of pressure to produce continuity of homogeneous material of same composition characteristic of the part which is being joined. So he said that it is homogeneous. So now to make the joint homogeneous, the composition of the electrode or filler material should be same as that of the base material. And another point to be noted here, heat is very essential, and it says that with or without the application of pressure and filler rod. So depending upon the type of welding process, the requirement of the pressure and filler rod varies. So the welding can be classified into under two headings. One is a pressure welding and the other one is a fusion welding. In pressure welding, the parts to be joined are heated only up to a plastic state and then fused together by applying the external pressure. So here we don't use any electrode or means for shielding the liquid metal, and just heat the metal to a red hot condition and then apply pressure to complete the welding. Example under this are forge welding and then resistance welding. And the other class of welding is fusion welding, which is also known as non-pressure welding. Welding joints of the two parts are heated to molten state and then allowed to solidify. So here the metals are heated to molten state, whereas here it is heated to the red hot condition, and pressure is applied and then joint is completed. But here we will not apply any pressure. We will allow the liquid metal to solidify so that joint is formed. And coming to the very important and common type of welding is arc welding. So in the arc welding, look at here. So we have got a electrode and then a base metal. Electrode is connected to a positive terminal, and the usually electrode is connected to a negative terminal, and the metal or the pieces to be welded are connected to the positive terminals of the heat source. Both AC and DC can be used, but however the AC is DC is more common compared to the AC because of a certain set of advantages. Coming to the in details of the arc welding, the arc welding operates under a principle that when two conductors of a electric circuit are touched together momentarily and then instantaneously separated slightly, assuming that there is a sufficient voltage in the circuit to maintain the flow of current, an electric arc is formed. So it is very common that when we touch the positive and negative terminals of a circuit, so it gives a spark. And here things are designed that whatever the spark produced will be sustained, and it gives the heat in the welding process to melt the metals. Concentrated heat is produced throughout the length of the arc at a temperature of about 5000 to 6000 degrees centigrade. In the arc welding, usually parts to be welded are wired as one pole of the circuit, and the electrode held by the operator forms the other pole of the circuit. When the arc is produced, the intense heat quickly melts the workpiece metal, which is directly under the arc, and also a small amount of electrode metal melts and falls into the weld pool formed by the base metal. So here we will going to produce the weld pool, which contains the liquid metal of the base and then the metal contributed from the electrode. The molten metal in the pole is agitated by the action of arc, thoroughly mixing the base and a filler metal. A solid joint will be formed when the molten metal cools and solidifies. The flux coated over the electrode produces an inert gas shield surrounding the arc and protects the metal from the oxygen of the atmosphere. So this is what the function of the flux coated over the electrode. It produces a shielding gas and protects the metal from attack of atmospheric oxygen. So coming to the welding machine, as I said, both AC and DC can be used. If we use AC, then step down transformer may be used. AC receives a supply between 200 to 440 volts. It transforms it to a required low voltage of 80 to 100 volts. A high current of 100 to 400 amps is suitable for arc welding. So here point to be noted here is that in the case of welding, we will reduce the voltage and we will increase the current. In DC arc welding, in the DC welding piece is connected to the positive positive pole of the DC generator, and then electrode is connected to the negative pole in order to melt a greater mass of metal in the base metal. This setup is called as straight polarity. And then when you reverse the polarity, that means when the positive is connected to the electrode and negative is connected to the workpiece, then we will call it as reverse polarity. So in AC there is no chance of polarity, since the current changes every cycle. That means there is no positive and negative in the case of AC. Only we have got a DC, and depending upon the requirement we can change the polarity. Coming to the arc welding electrodes. So the arc welding electrodes can be divided into consumable electrodes and non-consumable electrodes. So consumable electrodes are the electrodes which also melts along with the workpiece and fills the joint. Consumable electrodes could be either bare or coated. When bare electrodes are used, globes of the molten metal, while passing from the electrode, absorbs the oxygen and nitrogen and from the atmosphere, which may get trapped in the solidifying weld metal and thereby decreasing the strength of the joint. Electrodes are made out of a soft steel or alloy steel. The coating consists of a starch, ferromanganese, and then binding agents. And when these are burned along with the electrode, it releases the gas which protects the liquid metal. Coming to the coated electrodes, protection of molten metal from the oxygen and nitrogen by providing gaseous shield around the arc to establish and maintain the arc throughout the welding. That means here to establish and maintain the arc throughout the welding means the gap what is possible between the workpiece and electrode will make that as a sort of conductor and sees that the flame continues. The formation of slag over the joint thus prevents it from rapid cooling. So here slag will do two things. One, it prevents the contamination of the metal during solidification, and also since it is not it acts as a layer between the atmospheric agents and then liquid metal, it controls the cooling rate and then improves the strength. Addition of alloying elements are possible through the coated material, so that it improves the strength of the joints. That's why people say that the properly welded joint has got a better strength than the base metal. And coming to the non-consumable electrodes, when these are used, an additional filler material is required. Advantage in using this electrode is that amount of metal deposited can be controlled, which is not possible in other types of electrodes. So in the case of non-consumable electrode, the presence of electrode is just required to complete the circuit, and because of this, we have to use a additional filler material. When we use an additional filler material, control of metal entering into the weld pool can be better compared to the consumable electrode. And the other type of welding is gas welding. It is a fusion welding in which a strong gas flame is used to raise the temperature of the workpiece to melt them. As in the arc welding, a filler metal is used to fill the joint. The gases that can be used for heating are oxygen, acetylene, oxygen and hydrogen. But however, oxygen and acetylene is very common compared to oxygen and hydrogen. So coming to the setup of oxy-acetylene welding, here we have got two cylinders. One is for the oxygen and the other one is for the acetylene. At the end of the cylinder, we have got pressure regulators and we have got control valves here. So through the control valves, it is possible to control the quantity of flow of gas into the what is called as this welding torch. And here we have got two regulators. One regulator will give us the pressure inside the cylinder, and the other regulator will give us the line pressure. And in the and this is an equipment called as welding torch. And in the welding torch, we have got a combustion chamber, and in here also we have got two knobs. One knob will control the flow of oxygen, and the other one will control the flow of acetylene. So depending upon the type of the flame that we have to produce, we will change the quantity that is entering into the combustion chamber. Once the gas enters the combustion chamber, there it will get mixed and it comes to this nozzle, and the nozzle we will lit the gas so that the flame is produced. So depending upon the quantity of oxygen and acetylene, it is possible to produce three different flames, and these are as mentioned here. One is called as neutral flame, and then the other one is called oxidizing flame, and the other one is called as reducing flame. So coming to the neutral flame. So here the quantity of oxygen and acetylene are 1:1. That means same quantity is used. And in the carburizing flame, what happens? The acetylene is more, and in the oxidizing flame, oxygen is more. Depending upon these quantities, we can change. We can see the envelope produced. In the case of carburizing flame, we have got three envelopes. One is outer and intermediate, and then the inner. Whereas in the case of neutral flame and the oxidizing flame, we have got just two envelopes. One is inner, which is smaller compared to the outer envelope. So these are the most common or possible flames possible in the oxyacetylene welding, and the application of this varies. For the case of neutral flame, that is one which is produced by 50% of oxygen and 50% of acetylene, is commonly used for gas welding purpose or general welding purposes, whereas the oxidizing flame is used for welding of alloy steels, cast iron, and aluminum. And then reducing flame is used for the metal cutting rather than the metal welding. So some of the advantages of this are: it is most versatile process of welding with wide usage of various manufacturing process. So it is versatile in the sense that it is not only used for the welding, and it is also used for repairs and to build up the metal body, and also for the surface treatment. The low cost of the equipment and low cost of maintenance of the equipment. So the cost is low very, because it involves only gas cylinders, and there is no electronics or mechanism or the machine which involves a lot of mechanism like in the other cases. Because of separate heat source and filler rod, the control of them is better. So here control of your heat and the filler rod is different, so that it can be easily controlled when they are combined together in the case of TIG and MIG weldings, so that the control becomes difficult. The rate of heating and cooling is slow. This helps in retaining the structural homogeneity. So since it is always advisable to have a slow heating and then slow cooling, that the properties changes in the material will be minimized, so that it is recommended. The equipment is portable and multifunctions, because apart from gas welding, it cannot be also used for torch brazing, braze welding, preheating, and post heating. So some of the disadvantages are: difficult to attain high temperature while joining heavy sections. Why? Because we have got a limitation about the amount of oxygen acetylene that can enter into the combustion chamber of the torch. So definitely that will put a limit on that. And the second one is handling and storage of gases is not a very easy job. So that is true with wherever the cylinders are involved. It takes a long time for the flame to heat up the metal piece when compared to the arc welding process. Right? We know that the heating range of the gas welding is less compared to the arc welding. So coming to the tungsten inert gas welding, here we have got two terminals. One is connected to the metal, and the other one is connected to the electrode. Here we will going to use a non-consumable electrode, so that it makes one pole of the circuit, that is usually negative. And then we will use a filler rod here, and to protect the molten metal we will also use the the shielding gas. And to remove the heat generated, we also use some copper shoes to take out the heat generated during the welding process. So, so these are the arrangements, and when you switch on the when you switch on the equipment, what happens? The arc is generated, and it melts the base metal as well as the filler metal, and the molten metal is protected by shielding gas, argon, helium, and carbon, even carbon dioxide, and then welding is continued. So this is what TIG welding, tungsten inert gas welding. Inert gas is the gas that is we will use for the shielding purpose. So some of the advantages are no flux is used, and because of clear visibility of the arc and the job, the operator can have better control on the welding process. This is very much suitable for high quality welding of thin metals. It is very good